First gamer tag. In like 2008, I had the gamer tag Apple I-50.
McBender 91.
Alonso.
Oh, it's a terrible gamer tag. Dan 2 Rock 4.
God Rupert. C9 Frosty. I wasn't on C9.
Sock my sock. Like the Pokemon, not like I don't know. Yeah.
Electro knives. Oof, oof. 2 Z's, by the way. Oof. I don't know what I was thinking.
It was like either Mega Jack or Super Jack and then some numbers when I was like 6 years old on Minecraft.
That's absolutely horrible.
What I'm most looking forward to is to see like all the boys make it.
Div Winland.
I think it's just a win. Like, our team has been going through a lot of changes. I want to see how far we can push it and see if we can finish third or get like a podium.
Looking forward to competing with tough opponents and having a good time with my team.
I really want to break that top 5, top 4 threshold.
Winning seal.
I'm looking for a revenge on CCL.
Getting top 4?
To be honest, nothing. I don't really have anything to look forward to. Next semester is what I'm looking forward to.
I'm looking to win CCL. We only lost that one, so.
What's up, guys? We're here with members of the Overwatch team for a Pokemon Roulette Wheel Challenge. On the wheel, we have different characteristics of Pokemon that they have to hunt down in the open world. The catch is, all the Pokemon that they have to find have been randomized, and they have to catch a Pokemon with that attribute. First one to get 3 is going to win the challenge.
Yay!
Yay!
W Pokemon! Are you excited for Gen 10, guys?
Yes.
Oh my
Pokemon
God.
Wind and Waves?
Wait, you can't leak that. You're not allowed to leak
Sorry.
that.
Sorry.
But we're gonna get canceled by Pokemon.
Yo, MP.
Yeah, no, this map is actually crazy, I'm not gonna lie.
Waterman.
Yo, Chris Scott, what the hell are you doing, bro? We got a match, bro. You're late.
Yo. I gotta go.
Yo, lock in,
Yo,
bro.
I gotta go. Now I'm good.
Classic. Alright, what do we got here? Oh, chat, this guy is cooked. Oh, pre-fire. Pop it open. Warming up those fingies. And now he's just not missing any shots? That can't be how that works. Moving on. Ooh, obelisk. And chimps in VR helmets. And a legally differentiated enough version of film score.
Toronto Defiant before they blew up.
Probably FaZe, Gen G,
Cloud9.
100 Thieves, probably.
Dilducks.
TSM.
It's gotta be Optic.
G2.
Face.
Optic.
Elena Rain. Favorite pro player, Lethal.
I'm gonna go Faker.
Faker, I guess.
Can he be retired?
Yeah.
Scump.
I'll say Scump.
Shotzi.
Fury.
Salu.
Carrier.
Perks.
Myself, I'm tier 1. Pokemon or Minecraft?
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Minecraft.
Bioshock.
Probably definitely Cry series.
Jedi Fallen Order.
Clash Royale.
Probably around 200 to 400 bucks.
Way too much. Way too much.
Over 3K.
Too much. Next question.
Definitely over $1,000.
I don't spend money in-game items, so not much.
Probably around like 2,000 over like 13, 14 years. So.
Like $2,000, I want to say.
On COD? None. Never spent a single dime on COD.
What's the most amount you've spent in another game?
Oh, too much to count on CSGO. Invisibility.
I think it'd be really cool to know like how a person's feeling, like just by looking at them.
Teleport.
Be able to teleport.
I would like to fly.
Flight.
Flying. Actually, teleporting. That's cap. Teleporting would be one.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Saints stream. I'm Patrick Smoke Chambers, joined alongside with Evan, not really Evan Johnson. And today we have NACE Varsity Plus Playoffs Round 1 of Valorant with Val GC from St. Clair going up against the Durham Lords.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one for our GC team. Definitely a tough matchup to start for them, though. I mean, they're coming in as the 39th overall seed. Durham, decently high seeded, coming in as the 10th overall team in the Varsity Plus playoffs. So definitely a, like I said, a tough one to start the playoffs. But if you can get past this first round, you definitely made a statement to start.
Yeah, 100%. And, these guys, they've been really showing off in, at least the last time we had them on, was a crazy matchup that me and Owen were casting. There were some good moments. There were some not so good moments. There were some unbelievable moments that I really didn't know what I was actually like on my screen. But you know what? At the end of the day, we like those. We take those because it creates content, and
we love content.
We do love
We
content.
love content.
That's what we do here. But Val GC, last time they were on, they did take their series in 2-0 fashion. Now going up against the Durham Lords as well. That roster of Toby, Kirby, Purazum, Tommy, and Laser. I think that, again, when you're looking at a team that's gone through 10-4 and 4-1 through their Swiss and 5-3 through the round robin, as you have, Ev, I think that you're going to start seeing some, not necessarily some skill diffs, but maybe where the competition gets a lot more unforgiving when you have certain plays that have been allowed to slip by.
Yeah, and I think that's just obviously a symptom of being into the playoffs, and there is stiffer competition,
big time
right?
matchups.
I mean, like I said, it's just that time of the season. The matches don't get harder or easier, I should say, from here on out. And
I wish they didn't get harder.
If only. If only.
But
But like we said, if St. Clair, if they want to come into this one and really want to make a statement and sort of prove the doubters wrong, this would definitely be the matchup to really get some wind in their sails.
yeah, definitely. And this roster as well, posting Clarity, Darker Stars, UG, Abrux, and this time, Josue, Lucaru.
Man.
They have joined Val GC for this matchup tonight. What do we know about Lucaru? Well, I actually know a little bit of something. Was on a Val ACAD team here 2 years ago, I think. It wasn't like the official Val ACAD team, but it was, I believe, an academy roster. So at the end of the day, Lucaru has Valorant experience, and at a decently high level as well.
Yeah, I think this is going to be, there's UG absolutely sprinting.
UG, what are we booking it to?
Away from the camera into the pit. But I think, like you said, It's Wakairu. It's somebody who you can just plug. You just plug and
just
play.
wanted the nonchalant walk.
Oh.
Wait, who's that in the back though?
Carl.
Who's that in the back though?
Carl.
Hitting the Venom emote too.
Yeah, speed up that walk too.
That's crazy.
Oh, and slow down as well. But I mean, getting back to Josue, I think this is definitely going to be hopefully somebody who fits well into this lineup, right? You know, bringing that skill and that experience from previous Val ACAT teams, you know, whatever you want to say, some Counter-Strike experience as well. And, you know, that definitely is something to say. Now, mind you, definitely is interesting when you have to sub in with a different player first day of playoffs. You know, that might be a little bit worrisome. You know, you might not have, you know, the right chemistry with the team. We'll have to see, like, how Josue fits in with the roles that the team wants to play. But we'll wait just a little bit longer. We got to talk about the roles that these other players are going to be running with today.
Yeah, I mean, you should have Josue picking up the smokes as far as I'm concerned, with Abrux and Yuji kind of being that duelist duo that we've seen for a little while. Abrux usually on the Phoenix, and Yuji playing usually more of the dive duelist. They have a Neon clip that has been going absolutely wild. Showed it to us right before we got on stream today, and hey, you know what? Lelo hit some shots, man.
There's Josue.
Was going stupid. Josue pulling up.
The pure aura in the entrance.
Darker Stars usually plays just purely Fade, which is fine, but it does limit you when it comes to obviously like map picks and whatnot. And then Pose and Clarity usually just picking up the Senti rule. So again, this team, they have a lot of potential, a lot of really good killing power as well, I might add. Lucario, as I'm remembering, a very aggressive, flashy style of player. Just don't know how long it's been since they've really touched on Valorant.
And that definitely is something to keep in mind, right? Like we said, you're switching your team chemistry right before a really, really big game, obviously, with playoffs. So hopefully this will pay off for the team in the long run, because this is a Durham Lords team. You know, we already kind of talked about it. They're coming in as the 10th overall team, and they have some decently, you know, high-ranked players on their team. You know, a couple of Immortals, some high-ranked Diamonds. Then when you look at, you know, your St. Clair GC team, you know, you can definitely mention that there is a little bit of a skill diff in certain situations. Obviously, that does not mean a lot once you get into the server and really get things going, but definitely something you should mention when you're talking about the pure matchup and the head-to-head that's going to be going on tonight.
Yeah, 100%. And again, you know, it's going to be weird what to expect. I'm curious, obviously, as well, given the fact that we were talking to Lelo right before getting on stream. We were talking about maps.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, let's break those down a little bit. These guys for the Val GC team, they're usually more catered to running Fade maps because they have one that is going to continuously play it no matter what map it is. So, you know, you're looking at your Lotuses, your Pearl, right? But it really does become a little bit of a debuff when you have more of an absence of Bind, you know, Haven. Those are two maps that are very picked very frequently, right? And you can only really get out of one of them. If Durham knows that this team has a Fade crutch, they could just bring this team into really deep waters in one of the two maps, and immediately right there, try to see if you could force a map 3 at the very minimum.
Yeah, that is definitely one weakness you should mention when you're talking about this team. And like you said, if Durham has done their homework, then they are sort of thinking about this when it comes to the mentality of your map bans. And if you don't get one of these maps that favors Fade, then that is going to be something that might spell a little bit of trouble for this GC team, because, again, you're not always guaranteed to come out with maps that favor certain agents. So once we get into that, we'll see what happens. Based on the maps that they are favored, at least the ones that Lelo provided to us, being Lotus, Split, and Bind, I mean, I'm sure we're going to see at least one of those three. I mean, I think Lotus is that seemed to be the one that they really favor the most, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Lotus. I think Bind is definitely very possible as well. What Decider or the third map would be for Durham, definitely going to be a little bit up in the air, but as long as it's not Haven, then the GC team should be all right.
Yeah, again, it just depends, right? We even heard that, Lelo, they were talking about how like they wouldn't even mind playing on some Fracture. Like it really doesn't matter. Just keep away usually from like Sova dominated maps and you should be okay. Again, map dependent, but usually more times than not you can get away with running for that double duelist comp, the Phoenix with a dive. Like the dive can just switch up map dependently wise, and Phoenix is really just being picked because of the fact that the flash initiators are in such a bad spot right now that the Phoenix can just do the job even better than the initiator can, right? You got the curve flashes, they have to swing off of them as well because it's so much closer. You can't really like bait your guy out necessarily a lot. It's a lot harder to do it, and you're going to be caught a lot easier if you do. So you can play a lot of engagements together as a team a lot better with Phoenix is what I'm trying to say than a lot of these other flash initiators right now. Split, this team can do split. So, we saw that last time. Shout out Darker Stars really had some insane Odin clips that we had.
Let's go back and watch that.
Yeah, you might want to, or you might not want to. Honestly, either or. But I will say that look, when you're doing stuff like Darker Stars was on Split, it can really get in under the skin of the opponent and really just, for lack of a better term, piss them off. And that's good. I think that this is where this team kind of flourishes, is that not that they don't care, but they have very high vibes.
They do. I think that was something I would bring up next, is that when you watch this team play, you can just tell like how much fun they have as a squad and how much fun they have just being together. And I think that says a lot about how they play as a team. And even just by going off of that alone, that might be enough to get them over the edge. What is it we say? It's the power of friendship, right? Like sometimes that can be enough, especially with the team when you have good chem like that. It is enough to sort of put yourself in a position where you can win. Now, obviously, that is going to be tested this week against Durham, but we'll see how they come right out of the gate. We're still waiting for our maps to come through, but I guess we could talk about predictions a little bit. What are we thinking for St. Clair tonight, Patrick?
Yeah, I'm not one to want to break hearts here. I just don't see how, when you have the 39th seed going up against the 10th, how it could be anything other than at minimum a 2-1 in favor of Durham. Off the seeding alone, I think it's definitely going to be a lot harder. Now add in the fact that you also have a roster change that you're spurring on into this game as well. Maybe Lucario has scrimmed with this team before, but at the end of the day, it's not a stretch or a spread of misinformation to say that Lucario, they haven't had a lot of Val experience with this roster. So, at least not more than these Durham players have with each other. So, there's immediately a little more of a chemistry diff. I think there's a bit of a rank diff as well as the fact that you have quite literally just a team diff on games and records. Right, obviously, Durham coming into this matchup 9-4, unless do you say they were 10-4 or 9-4? I think they were 9-4.
Yeah.
Okay, my apologies. I think I said 10-4 earlier, but they're coming into this matchup 9-4, looking to be 10-4 after this one, and our team coming in at 7-6. So definitely a lot more like dominance that's being displayed record-wise from Durham, and I get it. There's not really a whole lot to go off of. But I'm just looking at the numbers, and the numbers all point towards the fact that if I'm trying to actually be giving a correct prediction, anyone would probably take Durham on top on this one.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm leaning as well. I think I'm also feeling a 2-1, but I mean, when it gets to a 2-1, obviously it depends on how it goes. Like if
mapper, we're gonna be here until midnight.
If St. Clair is able to take map 1, and maybe you drop 2 and then find a favorable map on 3, or you end up reverse sweeping. We'll have to wait and see. I think we'll be able to make a more informed opinion once the maps come through. But I do have to agree with you on the onset. I think Durham is just showing a little bit too much talent on paper, and then when you sort of pit these teams head to head, Durham definitely skewed more in their favor, and then the host wave variable as well, definitely adding a little bit of some intrigue into this matchup. But we'll see. You know, I think we're maybe we're not giving Hostway enough credit because we have seen Hostway play Valorant. You know, maybe not with this roster, but I've seen what they can do. And there's some skill there, some CS.
No,
transferable skills as well.
Hostway, look, I know, yeah, to your point, we have been obviously saying that it's maybe more bad than good. You can also flip that as well. Hostway is a really good shot. And also
True.
stepping into the smoker role, that is, I believe, if I'm remembering, what they were kind of doing in their time at ACAD. And now you kind of see where this could translate into, hey, maybe, you know, they get into this roster and they just immediately find their footing right where they left off.
Well, some players are just able to do that.
Yeah.
And obviously we don't know like how much Hostway's been scrimming with the team. So, you know, maybe they have had some time to work on this. Maybe this has been something that's been sort of, you know, pre-planned. So we'll see how it ends up working out. I will say that Hostway was a little worried because he doesn't have everybody unlocked on his account yet, at least the one that he's going to be using, or they're going to be using tonight. But we'll see what happens once we get into lobby. Hopefully Hostway was able to finish some of these unlocks.
That makes me think that Hostway is just on like a new account or something, because maybe they just don't have their account from like 2 years ago, which that would be understandable. But hey, that's neither here.
Here we go. We got
nor
map
there.
picks.
We do got map picks.
Okay.
All right, let me hear them.
All right. First map, it's gonna be Durham's pick, Lotus. On map 1, map 2, Split. Decider will be Pearl.
Whoa, that's extremely.
And on Lotus,
look at the bands too.
St. Clair starting on attack on Lotus.
Fracture and Bind, Durham clearly didn't do their homework because they could have picked a Breeze, they could have picked a Haven. That really would have put St. Clair in a tough spot. You actually get Lotus.
You get Lotus first. You
And
get
I'm
Lotus
sorry,
attack
we're
first.
picking Lotus attack. We didn't pick Lotus defense. That's interesting, just because defense right now is in a really strong spot in general in the game right now. But maybe it depends on the Senti pool as well that we're taking on from Posing Clarity. You know, it's a lot harder, obviously, if Posing Clarity doesn't play a whole lot of Vise or Cypher to then have to worry about it right now. But I think that when you look at the fact that Lotus is already on the docket, that works in St. Clair's favor. You get the split. Obviously, we're feeling good on that. No surprise, Durham Lords, they picked defense there. And then, hey, the Haven ban comes through, and was that actually Durham that banned Haven?
I believe it was. Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah, that's extremely surprising. Again, you know,
Definitely
maybe,
didn't do their homework.
Yeah, you could have honestly, if you banned Pearl, I mean, either way, you're forcing St. Clair onto a map that they simply don't like to play. It seems like everything just went St. Clair's way here. This is literally the best map ban that could have happened. I think this is this GC team's 3 best maps. If there was any shot that they were going to take this series against Durham, you've got it right here.
I mean, you got your best chance with some of your best maps on the table. You just have to go out and just try and reach out and take that opportunity when it comes to you, right? So we'll see how they come out. Obviously, you know, Lotus, with St. Clair being so confident on it, you do have to be a little bit worrisome that that's what Durham is picking into right away.
Yeah.
Obviously, that is something they feel comfortable on. They will start on the defense of that, so we'll get a chance to see St. Clair's attack on Lotus first. But I mean, if you can take Lotus going into Split, which I mean, you can speak to this because you were on the last GC stream when they played a little bit of a crazy game on Split. They were able to come away with a win. So maybe it isn't too unrealistic to say that maybe if St. Clair can upset on Lotus, maybe they end up taking it in 2. I mean, that might be, I don't want to say like, you don't want to say like unrealistic, but like,
Sure.
I don't know. I definitely think it's a little bit more possible now than what we were sort of teeing up originally.
I mean, seeing the Haven ban as well from Durham, a little bit alarming. Maybe it means that they're kind of in the same boat as us, and they just love running the Fade. Like,
yeah.
And if that's the case, then really everything that we've kind of said about having St. Clair comfortable, it just goes completely out the window. Because maybe this team is a 10th seed, that is just the same as us, just upgraded. Which, if that's the case, then, well, it's not going to be a long night here at the office. But what I can say is, again, looking at the map selection, if it goes this decider on Pearl, at that point, throw it up in the air. That series is a 50-50, because that just tells me that anything can happen if we have the 39th seed taking a map off of the 10th seed.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's just such a difference in numbers that it just simply wouldn't make sense to me. I'm trying to think of what it would be like in like Rocket League terminology, but we really I really can't do that, because in the CRL we've kind of seen everything, but that's neither here nor there. This is Valorant.
Well, I think it's such a different esport as well. You know,
I was
there are
thinking
kind of
low seed
levels to
beating
this,
high seed stuff, but yeah.
But I think when you really break this one down, I think it's going to come down to the individual play of the of the players in the server. Like we mentioned, Durham coming in with a little bit of a rank diff in terms of skill level. They obviously, we talked about how they're the 10th seed coming in, feeling confident, but maybe St. Clair, maybe they'll feed off of that underdog narrative and really sort of take that home in this series, as getting hopefully closer to game time as teams get set and we get our agent bans to come through. If you had to predict maybe some agents coming through for St. Clair, I mean, obviously we know we're gonna have a fade come through, but what else do we expect to see from this team tonight?
Yeah, I mean, if we're just going off of standard comp that I would usually come to expect for Lotus, you're probably looking at either a Cypher or a Vise for the Sentinel pick that's going to be coming through from Poses and Clarity, obviously. Could pick anyone. And I'm not necessarily saying, when I say this, that, oh man, only one comp can work for Lotus. No, anybody can make anyone work for any map. It just, I'm trying to think of what could come through. So probably looking at one of those two for your Senti pick. I mean, Yuji, I would assume, is probably going to be on either the Neon or the Waylay when it comes to Lotus. We've been seeing actually some Raze gameplay as well. So you know what? Actually, let me chalk that right now. I think it's going to be Raze that we're going to be seeing out of Yuji. Just makes sense. And, again, should be seeing the Phoenix combination from Abrux. When it comes to smokes for Lucario, would not be surprised at all if you just see the Omen pickup. You said they might not actually even have
this is
Omen
what,
on their account.
This is what I saw from earlier today. I'm gonna have to go back.
I mean, if that's the case, do we just instinct it? Does Lucario just pick up the Clove and basically give some more killing power to?
I mean, you could just also pick up the Brimstone, potentially.
But Brim on.
Okay, so
Brim on Lotus
as of
just
12:08, Hostway says that they don't have Omen on lock or any smokes for that matter. Well, we'll see how it goes. Maybe they won't be picking up the smokes in this case. Maybe you leave that roll up to somebody
That's what
else.
Lello said. Lello might have just found that out after he was talking to us, and he might have been like, "Oh, it's cooked." Hey, you know what? If that's the case, I can already tell you then that means, there's been no scrim.
It definitely doesn't spell anything good for this team. But again, you never know. I mean, sometimes we can survive off of vibes alone. That, like we said,
we
that
have
can
seen
be
crazy
enough
stuff happen here.
That is enough to take you over the edge potentially.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those ones where we just don't really know what to expect until we get in. And if we do have a little bit of a change coming through, the one thing I could see is maybe because Abril is usually the in IGL scenarios, could see Abril picking up maybe the Omen and then having Lucario pick up the Phoenix instead. Obviously, it doesn't really matter. Phoenix is just given to you right off the bounce. So it's kind of convenient that, the meta is kind of right at your hands already at account launch. So, hey, you know what? There you go. Maybe that's a switch you make. And would kind of make sense. Lucario, still a very good shot, obviously. Not like an Immortal player, to my knowledge, like Abrux is. But at the same time, Immortal or not, if you can hit your shots on a duelist role, then
that's all you need.
That's all you need. Exactly.
Sometimes that's all you can need is just like a fill. Just have someone who's a bit of a crack shot who can just sort of fill that that void that you might have as this team. And I think we're being told we should be getting into game fairly soon, so we can provide some intel on. Oh, what?
Last time, Poses in Clarity played Lotus. I'm remembering this now. Chamber was the pick that I saw come in.
Classic Senti for Lotus.
Yeah. I mean, just because of the fact that obviously you're just going to have the Chamber holding down, can either sit steps looking into rubble or can hold down the mound side of things on C. But again, still, you know, it is a pick that can work out. Usually the Vise Cypher is good for a little more flexibility on the defense. But hey, you know what? If you're on attack, I mean, it's not the worst thing. And yeah, I mean, it can definitely work. I played Chamber on Lotus for a couple games last night.
Yeah, how'd you do?
Did pretty damn good.
How good is pretty damn good?
I think I went 31-6.
Damn.
But at the end of the day,
now, was that a ball
also,
lobby or is that a real?
Yeah, that's also like I was playing people who probably don't have thumbs. I think that Durham is definitely a lot better than those players, and you know, we'll have to just see when the time comes. But that time is right now because we got agent select right now. I haven't gotten the word of that.
I can't wait to see what this is going to be. And here it comes here. You were right. That's a good show with a Chamber. And you
wow,
were
I actually
correct
got it on the money completely.
You were fully correct in this case. It's going to be
crazy.
Yuji on the Rays. So, again, you called your shot. Meanwhile, for Durham College, Sky, Clove, Neon, Reyna, and Vise. What do we think based on this lineup alone?
Dude, holy swing everything and don't look back. You're telling me I got a Neon, 2 Reyna Eyes, Clove, and also 3 Sky Flashes potentially?
Yikes.
Off the Flash regen? Man, I mean, this is just tough. You have the Clove who can also, like, heal herself. The Reyna can heal herself. The Sky can just heal everybody. You got the Vise as well. That's going to be a really key pickup for your defense, as that's going to be the first thing that we're going to be looking at here today as well. I mean, all in all, Reyna, not usually someone that we see a whole lot of. And wow, look at the roster as well. I mean, comparatively to what NACE was telling us, way different names instead. Going to be getting Medbed. Is that 3082?
Yeah.
Sanchi, and then Fanks as, man, that doesn't even line up to anyone. The only person who's actually here that, like, name lines up from NACE is Tommy, and that's it.
Unless the names are different on NACE.
They definitely could be, like 100%.
True. So we know that sometimes the NACE website can be a little bit unreliable in terms of what name is fed into the system, but regardless, that's the lineup for Durham College, and that's the lineup that St. Clair is going to have to go against. And like you said, this is a team that you can just tell off the onset. This is a Durham team that's going to be very, very aggressive, and they're not going to be afraid to just try and swing everything and just make you uncomfortable. So St. Clair, they're going to have to be ready for that. That's going to put a lot of pressure on Abril to make sure these smokes are perfect and make sure you set up your team's executions. And for Hostway, got to make sure those flashes are set good as well if you want to try and counter some of this pressure that Durham's going to be sending your way.
So you know it's cooked if, like, Hostway just right off rip just flashes UG down Rebel. I mean,
okay, hopefully that won't happen. Hopefully
that would be so funny, but also very unfortunate, and I could just kind of tell you how the rest of the series would go from that point on. But right now, you know, looking at Durham's lineup one more time, I was going to point out the Reyna, not someone who we usually see at this level of play, but at the end of the day, if you have just an egotistical swing-first fragger, I think that, hey, you know what? Off the 2 eyes, the Reyna pick, who knows? It could work. Now, hopefully, that going to be flipped as we have, finally, 5 seconds to go. Round number 1. St. Clair GC going up against the Durham Lords.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to this one, Patrick. Always good to see the GC team get represented on stream, and hopefully they get to put on a good show for us tonight. They're going to be sending it fully down this A side. I mean, you do have a little bit of a lurk set up from Clarity. Not Clarity, that should be, yes, that it was Clarity as the Chamber that gets taken out, but Spike goes down regardless, so Fang's up in heaven now. It's going to be held out by this Molly, so already St. Clair putting a lot of pressure on this team, swinging out. Yuji going to be good for 2 picks. It's 2 big picks to stop this retake potentially into heaven. The rest of Durham trying to make their way in. 30-82 trying to get this defuse of Sanchi. He's going to have to be the one to get it done, but Yuji Not able to get it done in time. Does get the ace, but at what cost? At what cost is Durham able to come away with the defuse?
That's unfortunate. I really do like the triple up from St. Clair onto the Zips to just take those next two gunfights. Yuji going to be coming out with those, and then obviously the 180 to find the player walking out of steps is nice as well. But unfortunately, the tree pressure comes through, and Abrux dying in the position that she was in really frees up the last remaining two players for Durham to kind of get this post plant back in their favor. The cover is great on the diffuser, and yeah, there's not really much of a better way I could have played this. Really watch out for 3082 here, up close and personal on this B setup with the judge in hand. That Skydog can obviously feed intel. The slide comes through, and just like that, that's all you have to do to find your first blood.
Yeah, Neon with a judge is just so deadly in almost any situation, and that's going to be something that will be problematic if St. Clair isn't able to get a handle on this early. Thanks now trying to hold off this A side. What of a similar situation for St. Clair Sanchi? My goodness, that's looking like my aim on Counter-Strike, but thankfully 3082 won't be missing those shots with the judge. A 4K for 3082, and Durham take their conversion.
It's not even like it was really an impressive play, but just no one was looking at the Neon. Just comes up from behind and downs 3 players. Like, oh man, that's absolutely gut-wrenching. Especially when you thought you had a foothold into the site there off of the Reyna who you kill top zip, right? I mean, this is just great though, off the util from the Skydog, and man, this is just rough. I mean, that's just tough. There's no other way to put it. Full walking as well. No clue how nobody hears the Neon there, but it is what it is. You gotta re-up and go next.
They're going next on this A long side. It's going to be Lakairu to find that first pick on the Sanchi, so more space now for your Saints team. Is going to be a little bit of a split now, maybe not fully committing to this A push again. So you have UG and Clarity out near mid, closer to
UG, I can tell you right now, there is no one there, but it's okay. The angle's cleared. I just thought it was funny they pinged it. My bad.
Do you have that's Sky? Just a bunch of Russian text coming through for Durham. You speak Russian, Patrick? You know how to pronounce that? Where's David when you need him?
Yeah, you know what? That's the real answer here. I mean, we'll see. I think that might be Medbed that you're thinking about.
Yes.
Could be
yes.
What the translation goes to, but I mean, for now, that's what I'll just refer it as.
There you go.
Yeah, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, Durham, they're looking good. I think that again, they've shown that they can really control these early picks with the Neon in hand, but at the same time, you know, you see what movement you can generate off of, and 3082 is just creating so much space off the stun, and you're really using all of Neon's kit to the fullest.
Yeah, that's 3082 has been a big problem early for the St. Clair team, and if they can't find a way to shut down this Neon, it's going to be a long night at the office for the St. Clair team, but they're back on the attack, and Eco, though, coming through. Wakairu going to get saved from his ult, so some intel gain for St. Clair as they're looking to try and take this A site, but Fangs will take that first one. Medbed, another one. St. Clair, though, they're still fighting 3v3. They could find their way onto this A site.
Yeah, I mean, one from the Headhunter as well, definitely going to help. Notably, 3082 on this flank, probably going to get hit by the chamber cam, and even if not, Abrux definitely knowing of the position now. Darker Star is going to be able to use the Stinger to down the player once more, as now this Vise from Durham still has that flash in top tree, and St. Clair, they're not even willing to just shoot it to take it out, as now the plant goes down. Tommy swings through, find one. The wall bangs are almost going that way. Abrux has been in harder situations before, is going to be able to find the first, but unfortunately the traces through the smoke too good, and Tommy going to be able to pick up that kill and have the defuse as well. Durham notably on a very good map for St. Clair GC, dominating on their pick 4-0 so far, and we're really seeing why Durham picked this one out. Clearly, extremely comfortable on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been all Durham all day. I mean, St. Clair, they've had opportunities. Like, I like this play call. You know, you set it up with the smoke to get the plant down, but I just think they took a little bit too much time to get this one down, and that clove smoke as well, sort of making things a little bit complicated for your St. Clair side, just not able to find that consistency yet, but you at least have a full buy coming into this one. You will be able to bring full rifles to the table this time to match a Durham team that's been able to, they've been able to do a lot. You know, they've been able to really stack up their econ early, really haven't been tested yet. But we'll see if St. Clair, see if they go back to the drawing board and make things a little bit more challenging for this Durham team.
Yeah, but I mean, look at how Durham, they check what they want to for the first engagement. They don't see what they need, and they waste no time backing up. And they have really just kind of gotten St. Clair, luring them into this C side. As I was going to say, I would have expected the Vise util set up, but no, seems like right now, Durham, they like setting that up on A instead. So St. Clair, they're just going to rush on through as the Reyna was the lone person standing on that one. The Neon Stun goes through the slide. That's unfortunate for Lucario up close. Shorty in hand, should get the job done. And 30-82 is on an absolute tangent right now.
Yeah, just completely dominating. And this is sort of what we were talking about before the show, where
the numbers are showing.
Just off of the initial matchup, this was a Durham team that definitely can back it up with, you know, their play. And the way their team comp is, they are not afraid to get ultra aggressive. And St. Clair, they just haven't had any answers for that right now. It seems like they've been a little bit uncomfortable with how aggressive that Durham has been. And with some of these swings, especially off the back of these Neon plays, sure, they're able to find some early picks and get some trades, but they just can't find anything consistent, really. I mean, but you got to give credit where credit is due. 30-82 he's really been having a solid game thus far.
And that's the tough thing as well, is that Durham's lineup has so much util that is like space suppressant. Forces you to either stop what you're doing or back up. There's not a whole lot of that with St. Clair's lineup, I think. And, you know, again, to the dismay of St. Clair, at least not a lot of that utility that is scary enough to threaten Durham to take a step back. They know exactly what to bait out and when they need to play their cards, and they've been playing them just right so far the entirety of this game. I really love the combination of the Neon Sky early on B. It's so easy to just get whatever value you want out of this early look, pull back, gather your intel, and immediately clear one of the two sites right off rip.
And this is going to be another tough one, I mean, for St. Clair. This is an eco coming in. I mean, you have, at least have like one long-range rifle. You have a Judge as well,
Yep,
but
same thing.
But you take out that chamber right away, and that's already down a player for St. Clair. You just can't really afford to make these mistakes early, and not even able to get this backstab off Durham. I mean, you don't really have to get super aggressive here. You can just let St. Clair come to you, because it's just a flawless win for Durham right now. I mean, this is sort of what we expected with an eco for St. Clair, but unfortunately they weren't able to really start to bite into that Durham economy.
Yeah, unfortunately, walking back and forth with the Odin, it was working out for you last time, Darker Stars. I don't think against this lineup it's going to do exactly the same thing. Durham, at the end of the day, they are showing that they definitely have that calm aim. They know exactly how to control sprays when needed. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this is just, look, it's a gunfight that just could have went 50-50, but you really should have that one. But hey, 13-2. 30-82 right now is absolutely feeling it. And when he's going this berserk, who's the one to stop him? So far, no one on St. Clair has had an answer for that. 6 down and only 7 to go if you want to find this game done. And man, the first bloods are just automatic right now for 30-82. Pick up a second one on the mound as well. Tommy almost hits a nice flick, can pop the ult. One player going to run away, but again, 30-82 can just have the counter push. Look at this right here. The wrap should be freebies, and is exactly. And that's the spike as well. So now everyone should just have to be running towards this rubble side. It might not even need to be all that right now. Brux is stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Has to go to B. See if she can try to clutch this one out.
Just needs something going the way of St. Clair, but I mean, you just can't stop this Neon. right now. That has been the difference maker for Durham right now, is that St. Clair, they just can't deal with this pressure coming in. Very aggressive swings from a Neon that just has so much movement tech. And for St. Clair, I mean, what do you even do at this point? Do you slow it down? Do you try and speed up and maybe try and match the aggression that Durham is sending your way to maybe get them off guard? It's questions definitely need to be answered for St. Clair, because this one definitely getting out of hand quickly.
Yeah, there hasn't been a time where I've really seen the Neon set up towards this A side. Always usually either positioned on the mound or just on the B walk-up. Is going to be taken out this time. First blood at Brooks, showing that the aim is definitely still on point. Finds the headshot, but the refrag from Tommy is good. And now you've lost your smoke player very early into this attacking round. I don't want to say it's all over, but that was probably the worst player to lose in that engagement.
I guess on one hand, you find the Neon, so that's the best player for Durham thus far that is down for the count, and Yuji going to get in with the showstopper and find another one, so there should be a plant coming through for St. Clair, but has to be careful of Sanchi up in heaven. This is going to be going unchecked. You do have Darker Stars watching with the Odin, but just turning at the exact wrong time, and now Sanchi with an opportunity to maybe steal this one away for Durham, but Kairu shuts it down and finally gets St. Clair on the board.
Yeah, and it's a good heads-up play here from Host's way, but the Empress almost got the job done. Sanchi with a decent play off the drop, but had to find two more in St. Clair. They were able to obviously shut down the lurk as well. Chambers tour de force being popped, so at the end of the day, it was always going to be a tough one for Durham to retake off of. That being said, you have definitely found yourself around, but there is a whole lot more to climb. Congratulations. For your efforts, you've earned a Brazil.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's the start of something potentially. Sanchi winning this initial gunfight on 3 HP, though, so, I mean, St. Clair will take that, but, ooh, 30-82, not able to finish it. Medbed will have to pick it up, but that's Neon down for the count once again. Sanchi will take some of that healing. Darker Stars getting this spike planted over onto the C side. We'll see how Durham approach this retake of Brooks with the first one.
Your Odin should be spraying onto Waterfall right now. Yeah, I was going to say, this is a little bit of a miscue. You have three players that are all looking towards the CT side, and now the flash goes through. And yeah, that's unfortunate. That cannot happen in that scenario. You have two sure going towards your CT, but your Odin player should really be positioned in an area where you can stop this Waterfall pressure from coming through. Durham are simply allowed to just walk in off of the lack of counter pressure that St. Clair have in that facet, and they're just able to immediately take charge of site.
Yeah, I think you just said it perfectly, Patrick. That's a little bit of a miscue coming through from St. Clair, but still some positives I think to take away from that is
definitely
they're getting the spike down. They're being able to execute on these sites. This lurk from Clarity, able to come in and just give St. Clair a chance to create some space. But yeah, like you said, you just can't let a Sky just work like that. If you're Odin player, you just need to make sure you can put more pressure downrange, and without that, Durham can just keep being as aggressive as they want to be.
Yeah, and again, this scout, it can just get a ton of value to at least let everybody know where the play's coming from. This is extremely unfortunate. The healing from the Reyna as well can just eye out of the smoke and take even more space. It's setting up a really clean gunfight for Medbed right now. Sanchi going to be able to pick up one onto Clarity, and all of a sudden, a Brooks just has to try to sit there and watch as all of her teammates slowly die one by one in a 1v3 right now. Has to try to see if you can make anything work, but
that's not a shot.
Durham, they're giving her isolated gunfights, and when you give up Brooks these opportunities, they definitely will come back to haunt you. Paranoia still in pocket. You have a TP and a smoke as well. Util can be used in the scenario, but why need it when your ex-GC pro can just string together headshots, throwing out rhymes like dimes?
And that's why she's the IGL in that situation, just able to mow down these Durham attackers. And for Durham, now it's a lesson for you. You can't be giving St. Clair isolated gunfights because, yes, while you may be dominating, there's still some shooters on the St. Clair side, and you cannot take them for granted, even with this considerable lead that you've made so far.
I mean, that's just a scenario where it's like, hey, you know what? If you're Durham, you are up by a lot, but you still have to respect the the fact that individual players can make great plays when given the opportunity. Durham should never be simply giving a player like a Brooks 3 one-on-ones. That's not going to go well for you. And hey, Ev, take CS notes. We can't be doing that either for our broadcast after party on Monday.
I'll take that. I'll take that into consideration. Yeah, let me make sure I can lock in. You know, I still have some time to get this practice in, and clearly the practice paying off for SCC as they're going to find the first 2 picks of the round and are looking to head over to the C side, potentially to put some phantom pressure on, but thanks to this pick onto a Brooks, UG able to get the response, so the play still possible. Darker Stars going to get this spike down. It's going to be a very challenging retake. I mean, Clarity and Host Way are going to have to go all the way around the world, but with Durham, they're taking their sweet time, and they might not be able to get a chance to get into a good position to maybe fight for a retake here.
Yeah, the blind does come through in the molly as well. This tether is going to stick to medbed as well. But now, Lucario with the swing. Tommy is going to actually be able to find 2. The blind out at the wrong time. Darker Stars at least. Tommy with the refrag. The overheal though. Time becoming a factor. The shot not going to be landed. Lello does not miss those. UG going to be clutching up in the 1v1 to give St. Clair another.
And it's been a rough half for St. Clair, but they're starting to piece together some
things
really
back.
solid rounds. That's the last 3 out of 4 going their way. And I think best case scenario, you end the half down 8-4. You can come back. Maybe you take pistol on your defense side. You take conversion. Then you're only down by 2. You just have to chip away at this lead that Durham set up. I'm liking the plays that are getting called. It seems like things are maybe just a little more comfortable now. We've started to figure out how we can attack these weaknesses in Durham's defense. Just have to keep things consistent and don't give up any early kills early in the round.
I think that, you know, the only problem that I can start to think about as this CT comes through is Durham's lineup is also extremely aggressive, so their attack must be good, as Fank's going to be able to pick up one on Lucario, and yeah, I mean, this flank, it's all but a matter of time. Brock's going to go down, and this Neon is just picking up all the value from this counter pressure on Mound. Thanks and 3082 really controlling the St. Clair push.
Yeah, when you have a push like that, like a flank, it's really hard to shut that down, especially when your Neon has just been waiting to use their ult the entire half, right? There's just not much you can do about that. And
did the chamber not place the camera for the flank there?
I don't think so.
Even if it gets destroyed, you still have the notification that it got. So yeah, maybe a little bit of a lapse in judgment from the chamber on St. Clair. That play should have probably been a little more easy to see coming, but at the end of the day, maybe you just put the camera in a different spot, and again, 3082 was just probably able to bypass it.
Not to see how, like you said, if we've seen a solid defense, you have to expect a really aggressive attack. And look at this, 3082 just full sending it, just blitzing the chamber on the C side. And there's just no resistance being shown from St. Clair. That spike is going to go down in a blink of an eye. Sanchi double tapping, double kill. Going to try and find this third on the hot swap and is going to find it. 4 in the round for Sanchi. Another pistol for Durham.
Sanchi, the duality of Sanchi, hits 4 one-taps in great fashion on this round, and then obviously in the second round had that just complete whiff on Zips.
Hey, it happens. Goes to show you, it happens to the best of us. Sometimes the Reyna players, give them a few rounds in, start feeling the aim, and then really becomes a problem. Great 4K from Sanchi here off the Skydog 2, an immediate clear of the waterfall position. Good, calm aim onto Lucario. Yeah, that's a double swing where, hey, if UG and Lucario are swinging you, that's not one that you walk away from alive 90% of the time. No, that's just a hell of a play from Sanchi. I mean, it's been a little bit quiet, you know, compared to guys like 3082, but definitely making big plays when they need to. And I mean, you look at this, I mean, St. Clair kind of leaving the door a little bit open for Durham here. Nobody home to defend this A site, and that's a free site take for Durham and 3082 position up in heaven. This is going to be really tough for St. Clair to retake into, and those 5 picks come through in bunches. You don't want to say that's the dagger, but I think at this point we can see the writing on the wall. Durham should be cruising their way to a map 1 victory, and they have come out swinging very, very strong.
Yeah, I mean, with the way it's been going, I'm not going to go ahead and say, oh, man, give them map 2. Or do I? Because this is extremely dominant.
Let's hold on a little bit now.
But you got to give Durham credit. They are simply farming at this point. I mean, 3082, the second you get that
23
that
and 6,
zips,
Patrick.
well, I'm not even thinking about that round because that round Sanchi, honestly, I'm pretty sure did even more. But the second you have with a judge that lineup and that control of top zips there, I mean, what else can really be done here? The raised nade, it does come through. UG able to find one, but Fangs is a nice shot. The Odin spam works out for Darker Stars, but unfortunately, 3082 introduces her to a judge at close range, and now the Odin spam can come back in 3082's favor, picking up one in a clarity.
Kairu now with an outlaw, maybe trying to fight a long range as Hostway and Abril will take it around the world through CT. Maybe try and wait and see where the spike ends up coming from.
Fortunately, it seems like they've picked wrong for now, though, Ev.
I mean, if only they knew what we knew.
Yeah.
But you can only do so much.
Well,
but
they know now.
Yeah, I was going to say, now you definitely should know, but they're not going to be able to stop the spike from getting planted. And with how far away they are, you know, they're still in CT, so 3082, he's going to be able to get into a position to fight these incoming players from heaven, and Abril is not even looking in the right spot, so Hostway in the 1v2, not going to happen. 3082 continuing to dominate. This neon of doom and despair has been doing it all for Durham, and they find themselves at the precipice of victory.
Yeah, I mean, this is just rough. And, you know, at this point, it's one of those ones where, yeah, you got to just reset, go next, because Durham are looking insane right now. No one's really stopping 3082. And the problem is, how can you? Because a lot of 3082's picks have been actually influenced from the eyes of Sanchi, have been influenced from the util of the sky from Medved. So at the end of the day, this to me is just a team that cohesively is really working. I do like the flash early. UG able to find the first, and now that kind of frees up some positions. The Sky Dog again. How many times have we seen this dog clear out Waterfall? Tommy's going to find two, and there's the retrade as well on the pickup. The Sky Dog goes down, but you find the chamber, and you got the info for your liking. So now, bomb down, and I mean, I think that for Darker Stars, this one probably all but over, barring a miracle.
I mean, it's definitely not impossible. I mean, we've definitely seen some miracles, but we'll have to wait a little bit longer to see another one. Unfortunately for St. Clair, they just get absolutely blitzkrieged on Lotus. You still have a chance. Your backs are against the wall, going to your map pick of Split. Definitely some opportunities and some times to turn things around, but they're really going to have to go to the drawing board and think heavily, Patrick, because they just got dominated on all fronts on map number 1 at least.
Well, I mean, especially when we're talking about a map like Split and we just see a team that can utilize Sky Util on a map like Lotus so well with all of the aggressive players that are on that team. I mean, Tommy, Sanchi, and also 3082. It's going to be really rough on a map like Split to have it going any other way because, frankly, you can kind of play similarly on your Split attack. And I would think that through the sheer cohesiveness that I've seen with this team, it's going to look quite damn good and scary as well when these guys, not afraid at all, to just simply press the W key and walk at you.
Yeah, and you can just tell it's the aggressiveness that they come with and just the confidence. You can just tell that this is a team, Durham at least, that is just dialed in right now. They are looking to get this. And when we take a look at Split, it's going to be defense to start for Durham. So similar to the last one, they're going to get a chance to, you know, hang back, try and farm a little bit up on defense, and then if they can find a lead going to the second half, you get on the attack. Like we said, you have this aggressive Sky. You have a duelist in 3082 that is just capable of doing so much for your team. It's going to be really, really tough, but we'll have to wait and see. We won't have to speculate for too much longer. When we come back from this break, it's going to be map 2. It's going to be Split. We hope to see you then.
Probably around 200 to 400 bucks.
Way too much. Way too much.
Over 3K.
Too much. Next question.
Definitely over $1,000.
I don't spend money in game items, so not much.
Probably around like 2,000 over like 13, 14 years. So.
Like $2,000, I want to say.
On COD? None. Never spent a single dime on COD.
What's the most amount you've spent in another game?
Oh, too much to count on CSGO. Invisibility.
I think it'd be really cool to know like how a person's feeling, like just by looking at them.
Teleport.
Be able to teleport.
I would like to fly.
Flight. Flying. Actually, teleporting. That's cap. Teleporting would be much better. I play RuneScape for fun.
Play tennis.
Not really secret, but I play card games.
I like to DJ on the side.
Eating. Queuing up Pokemon Showdown.
My secret hobby is collecting Pokemon cards.
I like fitness.
Collecting the boo-boos.
I like this tone. Yeah. My intuition is telling me there'll be better days. I sit in silence and find whenever I meditate, my fears alleviate, my tears evaporate, my faith don't deviate, ideas don't have a date.
What's going on?
How was map 1?
Ups and downs. We're up in the beginning.
As we speak, I'm at peace, no longer scared to die. Most niggas don't believe in God, and so they terrified. It's either that or they be fearing they gon' go to hell. Asking the Father for forgiveness got them overwhelmed.
Nothing more than calamity, though. Left in 5, he'll be shut down. The rotation was for Cumberland, but St. Clair breaks through. Oh, kidding me. What the heck is that? Situation now 1-on-1, 1 HP on this solo. 1 bullet is a 4-person 1v5. Stand against the rest.
Guy to this ball, guiding it down, maybe even get one for the road.
Our own standards here in this overtime period, because if we concede a goal, it's over for them.
He's doing a lot of damage, but he's got to keep me over. He avoids Ego.
Bob Waena, no flash, no problem. St. Clair.
Back already so low. Redx taking down 2, taking down 1. Immediately, this should be all she wrote. Soaks with 1
First gamer tag. In like 2008, I had the gamer tag Apple I-50.
McBender 91.
Alonso.
Oh, it's a terrible gamer tag. Dan2 Rock 4.
God Rupert. C9 Frosty. I wasn't on C9.
Sock my sock. Like the Pokemon, not like I don't know. Yeah.
Electro knives. Oof, oof. Two Z's, by the way. Oof. I don't know what I was thinking.
It was like either Mega Jack or Super Jack and then some numbers when I was like 6 years old on Minecraft.
That's absolutely horrible.
What I'm most looking forward to is to see like all the boys make it.
Div Winland.
I think it's just a win. Like, our team has been.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're just about to get into map 2 of this series between St. Clair and the Durham Lords. And I think if you're St. Clair, you're hoping this map goes a little bit better than what we saw on Lotus. A 13-3 smacking from the Durham Lords has definitely given St. Clair pause, and they're definitely going to have to go back to the drawing board to prep for this next map, because backs against the wall, your playoff lives are on the line. You just can't afford to get complacent at this point.
Yeah, definitely. We do have some stats for you, though. Hey, look at this. And
I
we
love
can
stats.
see how dominant Durham really looked. I mean,
58 kills.
I don't
My
think
goodness.
that was right. But at the same time, I can say that,
Look at that ACS.
you know what? 30-82 might as well have went 58-6, because regardless, no one could stop the guy.
Definitely not. I mean, that
There you go.
that ACS 454, I mean, that is ridiculous from 30-82. Just absolute domination coming through. And the rest of the team, I mean, admirable numbers, but you don't really need to put up those types of numbers when you have 38-2, putting up like prime Miami Heat LeBron type numbers. Then when you take a look at St. Clair, it was Yuji and Brooks who sort of led the way and tried to salvage it, but unfortunately the rest of the team not able to bring that up. Lakairu not fitting in as well as we were hoping, only 4 and 15, and didn't really see much impact from that Phoenix in that game.
Yeah, unfortunately, not the impact that we were hoping Josue was going to have, but you get another shot on split. That being said, you know, the number one thing that I was noting is obviously Medbed. The amount of picks, first bloods that could happen down that B stretch from the Sky Dog, the amount of times we saw that Sky utility clearing out Waterfall and influencing retakes and positions on C at the same time, the same round where St. Clair committed 3 players to that CT side and lacked of the Waterfall counter pressure. Medbed walks in and just sky flashes the hell out of everyone there and gives Sanchi a free double. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that, and it's good plays that Medbed is setting up off the Sky utility on a map like Split. I expect that to go absolutely nowhere. We're going to be seeing much more of the same of that stuff, and I'm not going to lie. I actually enjoy it because I love seeing teams when they play very organized and whatnot. Obviously, you don't want to see them not doing that. That would just mean they're playing bad Valorant. So, as a Valorant fan, it's always nice to see, but we'll get more chances of that on Split. I would doubt that this Sky play from Medbed is going anywhere.
No, I don't think so. I mean, you talk about how good Sky is on a map like Split, and with how effective it was on Lotus, I mean, why would you change it at this point, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I think if you're St. Clair, you have to be expecting Medbed to be pulling out the Sky again, and you have to be ready for it because, quite frankly, the flashes were just devastating. And like you said, setting up so many opportunities for multiple picks coming through that would swing around. And on St. Clair's map pick, like if you're feeling confident in how you're playing, you just can't afford to let those picks go the way of Durham. You need to try and find a way to lock back in, reassess your strategy, maybe change the comp up a little bit. I don't know if Josue maybe is more comfortable playing on a different role maybe, and then you can have a Brooks, I should say, maybe flip to a different role, you know, maybe don't have
a brick.
I mean, that's what Yuji was shooting up in that last motion there.
Oh,
I hate to say it, but
what he do? Why you gotta catch a stray?
Hey, I'm sorry, Lolo, but we had to fix that in somehow. But regardless, you know, maybe you can pull a Brooks off of the smoke roll if someone else maybe can pick it up, or you want to fit something different. I don't know. It's just the Hostway variable definitely causing more negatives than positives at this point. I hate to say it, but I feel like if Maya was playing
you can
tonight,
call it how it is.
if Maya was playing tonight, I think the team as a whole would be performing a lot better. But unfortunately, this is the hand that they've been dealt with.
Man, you know, if you're Hostway, you're really going to be
I'm
looking
sorry,
forward to
Hostway.
killing you on Monday.
Hostway,
in CS.
Hostway, I love,
not in real life. Don't worry, kid.
I love
the way
you,
I
bro.
worded that just sounded
I love
crazy.
you, Hostway. Hey, if Hostway can come out and have a legacy performance, I would love to see it. I would love to be wrong.
Well, I would too. But unfortunately, looking at the lineup that Durham's running, this is, quite not even just similar, but very much telegraphed to what I would be expecting. Both sides picking up the Rays 3082, showing that no matter the map, he is confident in his dive pool, and he has no problems switching things up. Medbed, like I said, the Sky going nowhere. Clarity actually going to be picking up the Sky. So we have a lot of switches as well, as Lucaru's going to be on the Sage. Sanchi going to be bringing it out too. And the Reyna pick, it seems like this team really comfortable with running the Reyna as that secondary duelist that Fanks is going to be picking up. Tommy with the Clove, no surprises there. More killing power for Durham means better against this team on GC.
Yeah, I think I still have to give the advantage to Durham in this case. With how aggressive we saw them, I think just the fact that you can
Just
bring
walk 'em down
a
central.
double duelist with a solid flasher, that's going to be pretty dangerous for this Durham team that has proven to have some crack shots. And for the side of St. Clair, I mean, you had mentioned that Clarity is sort of more fulfilling the Sentinel role. So we'll see, you know, maybe swapping to the Sky, you know, we'll see how they do in this sort of off role, because that's going to be a big job here. This is, you know, this is basically one of your only flashers, your key flasher in this case for St. Clair. And if this util doesn't come through, then St. Clair is unfortunately going to have another bad time on split.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a little more grim for them. You got to remember that Durham, they're also going to be starting on the defensive side, and so to combat that, you really have to expect on the attack, this needs to be huge plays that come through from Abrux and UG. The paranoia is to clear an angle, have UG go in off of that, and I think that you need to really make sure that if you're Abrux, you have to find ways, because you are the X factor for this team. Let's not get it twisted. You need to find ways to try to play for your life and at the same time get really aggressive, because right now this team needs it. There is a lack of it. And it makes sense, though, because who are you challenging at the end of the day? People who have just 13-3'd you and have the utility to influence the power of swinging, not being swung.
Yeah, and again, backs are against the wall as well. So if you're going to have a good game and a big moment, it has to happen now. No second chances at this moment. Let's see if St. Clair can keep their hopes alive in these NACE playoffs, or will Durham take it in sweeping fashion? It's map number 2 on split, and I don't want to waste any more time in getting into this one.
Yeah, I definitely don't, as now St. Clair, they're going to be going out, trying to see if you can find any pressure off of mid. That Sage wall gets broken through immediately, and that's at least good. The longer that stays up, obviously, the more threatening that's going to be with time burn going down. The Clove Smoke is nice, though, to just burn another 12.5 seconds, as Tommy is tucked right beside on this box to step side now as St. Clair. Going to be using the Fade Prowler to try to clear out Garage, but Fangs has a good timing on this. Fade Prowler unaware of the presence, but UG going to be seeing the sight lines. Interesting to see off the walk. The Tether Nade goes through, and what the swings of St. Clair do here, it's going to influence how they push.
And look at this. I mean, they try and take some space, but they're going to back off. So that's a lot of intel gained for Durham. And now they have a chance to reset this defense. And for St. Clair, you've wasted a lot of time. I mean, you assume that
dude, they're reading the rotates
this
so
A
well.
site is over, but like you're calling it, this rotate definitely very telegraphed. And with 3082 kind of rotating to potentially get into this heaven position with the Sage, this could potentially be very devastating for St. Clair if they're not able to find a couple picks right off rip. That is definitely good. You're able to trade out the Sage, and you're able to take space on the site, but Medbed coming through and finding Lucaru. But St. Clair get the spike down. 2 picks going their way. And the Heaven player cleared out as
Oh,
well,
UG.
so this could have paid off for St. Clair. Fangs in this 1v3. Don't think they're going to be able to get this done. St. Clair should be able to walk away with pistol.
Well, they do a good job of walking into sight, and UG always going to be a flair for the dramatic when it comes to taking gunfights and getting a little bit flicky. Has yet another one. Give them the 3K and feeling good. Look at that. Round of applause, clapping it all up on the stage, and now you know that, hey, you can have a chance at converting on your pistol round that you just won. Hopefully, take a swift 2-0. But given what the Durham team has shown us so far in Lotus, I don't think any round is guaranteed.
No, I don't think so. And I mean, I think this one really just goes to St. Clair because UG's able to make a big play. Because Durham they were in good positions. I mean, they were able to find a way and read this rotation, but just hell of a play from St. Clair. And that's what you need. You need someone to step up and make something happen. And right now, UG is just making everything happen for St. Clair. They will fall, but not before doing considerable damage to the reserves of Durham. But they are still fighting, really trying to put pressure on these ones. The back line, but a little bit of a no-scope coming through from Josue. That's going to let St. Clair do a lot more in the second round.
Gross. Through the wall as well, and St. Clair, now they're going to be moving on through. Tommy, though, on ramps, obviously has that Guardian in hand, but can't bank worth a damn when it comes to landing a shot. It's now Medbed stuck in this 1v4, and with the pistol and nothing but that, doubt that you're probably going to be finding much of anything of value here.
Unfortunately not. I mean, you can maybe find one, but not even going to do that. St. Clair, they take the conversion in a much better position than what we saw at the start of Lotus. I mean, there's still a lot of Valorant left to play, but definitely liking what I'm seeing in the second game rather than the first.
Yeah, 1,000%. And hey, you know what? At the end of the day, that all stems from the fact that UG and Lucaru getting it done with the first 3 picks. Clarity, a decent gunfight taken on to Tommy. Controversial, but you could say that Tommy should have probably had 1, if not maybe even 2 kills in that position there.
Probably.
If you just keep the aim calm. But at the end of the day, we'll take that. Lucaru, yes, that bird does blind, so you might want to, avert your eyes. Takes the 2 shots regardless. Ramps being cleared out for now, but St. Clair, they're just going to walk on through. UG with that judge. Getting in close, tries to find a couple, but the wall goes down. Abrux's going to be wiser to it. Picks up Sanchi. Tommy falling by the wayside, and now Fanks in a 1v3 scenario, and this is huge right here. St. Clair can play for their bonus.
This is almost like a tale of 2 maps for St. Clair. I mean, where was this on Lotus? I mean, we knew that split was very comfortable for them, but this has just been a flip of the script completely. I mean, this is almost like a different team coming through Patrick. They're swinging more confidently. They're able to execute so much better and so much cleaner, and now Durham is the one that can't even make a play.
Well, clearly what they've talked about from maps 1 to 2 has really had an effect on this roster. And, the number one thing that I remember saying earlier, this team, they don't really mental chalk. Like, these guys just play off of vibes, and that's good because at the end of the day, it just means that, hey, you know what? To a certain extent, if you can just find a way to not get angry, you're always going to be in a round no matter what. It's when you get tilted that things start going awry. You start making ill-fated decisions. But right now, UG's going to see if he can try to find the peek onto Sanchi. The boost, though, too strong. 1 tap from the Sheriff is going to mark the first blood.
Have to see how much Durham can benefit from this eco. Going to slow things down for St. Clair. Going to have to go back and grab this spike. And if 3082 is able to steal this pick onto Abrux, which he will.
Massive.
This changes the face of this round completely. Because this is a round, if you're St. Clair, you really want to try and take this. You can't afford to let Durham escape on a Thrifty and try and find their way back in, because we know what Durham can do when given a little bit of space.
What are they going to do? I mean, that's their smoker gone as well. How do they even walk into this? I don't really think you can. You got to take some gunfights here, but Medbed is going to be able to find yet another. The one tap from Sanchi looking good. Darker Stars taking some damage from the Sheriffs, but yeah, that's the problem is Medbed can just get the gun upgrade. The swing, the big iron on his hip. Tommy's going to take it. The blind comes through, and it's going to be all she wrote. St. Clair, they should have had that one down pat, but they do not. And now all of a sudden, when you had 3 rounds going your way, a complete and utter swing that could be looking to go Durham's side.
Well, we'll see how it ends up going after we get into this one. But yeah, just Durham played this very, very well. Sanchi able to just boost himself up with the wall in mid. The lurk did not work out for St. Clair there, and they're just going to capitalize. Is Durham able to steal a couple rifles as well into the next one? I think they picked up an Ares as well as a Vandal, so you have some things to bring into this next round. You can start building up your eco again, and you can try and find your way back into this round, and we'll see what Durham could do with real rifles in their hands once again.
Yeah, well, I mean, a couple of players from Durham who just look at the eco right now. 3 players over 3K right now. They're feeling good, and they easily will have enough money to buy for the next 2 rounds if they win. The whole team's just completely sorted. Yuji walking on through the raise nade. It's not going to hit to the extent that they want. Sanchi and Tommy are just going to climb through. Who has the better LMG spray? It's going to be Darker Stars. Do not challer in that regard. That is one place where I will say St. Clair GC probably have most teams beat. Medbed going to back off from this tower position. Never mind, just completely re-swings it as Fang's got to kill elsewhere. It's a team ace. And man, this is, again, Durham off that win now, put St. Clair deeper into an economic pitfall, and they themselves have gotten solidified. No surprises here if they overtake for your lead.
Well, we knew that Durham wasn't done yet. I mean, it was great to see St. Clair come out swinging, but now that Durham takes that one on the Thrifty, they've started to wake up a little bit. I mean, Sanchi probably should have had this one. He goes for the reticle reset, but just doesn't get set in the right place, and you put a Brill on an island, and they're able to clean up. So crunch time now for St. Clair. You're investing heavily into this round. Darker Star is going to be trading that Odin for an Ares. See how she does with that, but look at Fangs. In a good position to execute after this clove smoke goes away.
Man, I mean, the utter spray, they know what this is going to be. Yuji's at least able to find one. You had to think, though, maybe if the Reina had more ammo, that wouldn't have gone that way. But yeah, this is just tough right now. The spray from Sanchi is good for at minimum 2. Has the 3K on the round. Medbed, this shouldn't have probably been winnable given St. Clair had their win cons lined up, but they were not expecting that Sage to swing out of the backside of A. And now, Abrux, not exactly looking towards the CT side, but will be able to get the refrag. And hey, at the end of the day, Medbed, you just chose wrong in that moment.
That's a tough one. I mean, it's a 50-50 chance, really, on which side you swing. You chose wrong. You are able to at least get a lot of kills and make it expensive for St. Clair. And Durham, still not out of it yet. You can definitely tell that they've woken up a little bit. And this is just devastating here. Sanchi is able to find that pick onto Clarity there. We might be thinking of a different round, or Durham would definitely be thinking a little bit differently, but it was not meant to be, as St. Clair still find themselves in the lead.
Yeah, now this is one of those pivotal moments where if Durham won that round, you could definitely see St. Clair slipping, but now we've gotten it back under control, and the ecos are spread relatively similar as both teams. This round meaning quite a lot, basically meaning 2 rounds, essentially, as you're going to have the other team kind of saving. So now, when you look at things, Brux, UG, they got to make some plays happen, and that's going to be ramps cleared out. I talked about it, that this dynamic duo are going to have to clear a lot of space out. Sanchi with 1 pick through mid, that's the Sage gone. UG ultimately checking the wrong place at the wrong time. Abrux going down as well, and this is just tough. Tommy and company are just absolutely cleaning house. St. Clair, they try to make a move on to A, and they simply do not have the facilities to pull it off.
And I liked how they started that play initially. You know, we've seen a Brill in that situation before, and Durham are able to take advantage of that and really shut down this potential lurk. You send somebody else over Yuji finds the refrag, or just has the overwatch, you could say. Just has the ability to find the pick and protect your smoker, but just too many bodies on site for Durham, and that was a critical round for St. Clair to maybe put more of a dent in that Durham econ, but you lose it, now you're forced to eco, and Durham should be looking to find the tie here.
Yeah, and this is going to be absolutely huge, because then think about what the eco of Durham's going to look like. They're going to be absolutely filthy rich. Is now Yuji going to swing through? He's not going to find a damn thing. Sanchi with just 4 through the smoke. And you got to think they're going to try to bait maybe for the ace. No, they don't care. They just want to get this one over and done with. And I don't blame Durham. Why give the opportunity over? St. Clair not getting through. They get absolutely stopped in garage. And it's going to be Durham laughing all the way to the bank with all that dough.
Wow, what a nice segue to really get it through. And I mean, if you're St. Clair, you know, it's definitely not all stations, you know, all systems red at this point. You know, there's still some opportunities. Durham, they've found their way in. That's 4 of the last 5 going their way. You're able to buy back in. And for Durham, you find another win here. You take the lead. Like you said, those stocks have been paying off. Your futures are just looking really, really stout right now. Let's see if St. Clair are able to find their way back in. Full stack over towards this A side. Brooks still holding just a little bit late and waiting, but I think Durham, they have an inkling of where this play is going to come from. Some util going out early. 30-82, nestling themselves in a bit of a corner. Yuji able to find that first pick for St. Clair and looking for more. Has eyes on the other Rays, but not able to clean it up. 30-82 just continuing to be a menace with the Phantom, but the Odin just a little too strong. Spike down as well. 2v2. Things have happened very fast and furious in this round.
Oh,
and Brooks isolated in sewers up the zip. We know what a Brill can do when given an isolated gunfight. That's 1 and a second as well. You just can't let her get those isolated gunfights. She will make you pay. Durham, you should have learned from Lotus.
Man, I mean, for Brill, it's just an easy 2-piece. And now you got to start thinking, St. Clair, that was an absolutely crucial round for you. You can now start to kind of set your feet in and strap up your boots. But for Durham, again, they had that round completely under control. It's just exactly as you say. You know, all of a sudden, Clarity picks up 1, and Darker Stars, the Odin
spray and pray
DNA back and forth.
Yeah.
And it works out. I mean, sometimes you can't really explain it. I know if Owen was casting this with me, he would just be lost for words and absolutely hysterically laughing. And hey, you know what? I don't blame him, because those are those plays that we just love to see once in a blue moon.
Oh, that's so good for Yuji. I mean, you're able to find that pick right as the smoke goes down, and the balls to be able to just try and take that ult orb when you're essentially right in harm's way. But my goodness, I mean, one wrong turn deserves another, as Durham respond with 3 after the initial pick from St. Clair.
And they get the res off.
And you get the res off. I mean, you bait out the Sage ult, but the numbers are what's important right now. And if you're looking at it just purely on that sense, Durham have it, but a Brill, she knows something's going on. Able to find Tommy and somehow finding Sanchi through the wall. Brooks just too strong of a rifler for Durham to deal with right now.
She's absolutely turning up right now, and when she gets hot, there is almost no slowing her down. So now Brock's going to try to take that tower position again. Such low health, so you would have to expect that the next gunfight not going to go her way unless she just finds a backstab. But now Yuji and Darker Stars trying to get something going through garage. The satchels to go in, but unfortunately that's going to get shut down. And Fangs, all you got to do here is just play your range. Can't quite do it to the effect that you'd want to. Darker Stars throwing out the haunt. Have to kind of hold this plant down though. The Raise nade is going to unfortunately make you have to back up. And 30-82, all you have to do is watch for the swing out.
It doesn't get any easier than that, but still good that St. Clair is able to at least get spiked down. But bad news is most of your team has bottomed out in terms of eco, and that's not really the position you want to be, as you only have 2 rounds left in the half. I mean, I guess you could maybe afford to just save here and try and buy for a last round to go for the potential tie, but the way Durham's been playing, I don't think you really want to give them too much space. But we'll see. They've definitely proven, St. Clair, that they've come to play on their own map pick and are definitely making this one a little bit more interesting and very even. Interested to see how it's going to go once the sides switch in 2 more rounds.
Face your fear!
I was going to say, I'm just waiting for the Odin
meat
spray
grinder
from Medbed. It's just going to pick up 3. This is just an absolute blender that you've been put in here. Unfortunately, post Sinclarity going to hit 2
Wait a
headshots.
minute.
And Darker Stars all of a sudden a 3rd as well. What a round
Durham,
from
what
the
are
2
we doing?
GC players. And all of a sudden, yeah, look at this. The Sky Healing can just come on through. Thanks. Can definitely play off the 2 eyes here. The dog coming down as well is going to be just barely shot in the nick of time. This tether nade trying to stop the position, but it's 1 hit. Can just reposition with the Reyna. And now it's just a spray through the smoke. It's such a close round. Man. The 2 underdogs from the GC side almost pulling it through, but unfortunately, Thanks has more than just a tight head on his shoulders, knows exactly what to do in that situation, playing around ramps, and is able to bait out the single swing.
Man, like, Durham, what are we doing right now? I mean, I get that you're able to find 3 picks right off rip, but
it's just the disrespect.
Yeah, it's just very interesting choice. I mean, you're able to find the round win regardless. I think if that goes the wrong way, you're definitely going to be looking at that being a swing moment in this game, but definitely a little bit interesting. Like you said, a little bit of disrespect being shown by this Durham team. Maybe underestimating this GC squad for St. Clair. They've been proving that they're...
2 Odins is crazy. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. Hey, they're taking it to him in this one. Going to upgrade to this Vandal, but definitely a tough spot for Darker Stars and Wakairu. But hey, I say that, and then Hostway is able to find the double.
I mean, that definitely puts St. Clair right back into the swing of things. The Haunt is going to find multiple. The Odin spam, and you definitely knew that there was 1 off to your right if you're Darker Stars. So now, 30-82. Obviously seeing the Prowler needs to isolate the gunfight and does so well. The Satchel as well, the showstopper. It's just free pickings at that point. Unfortunately, it seems like Durham, they're allowed to have some disrespect if they know how to back it up when it matters most. They are able to lock in, get the job done in that half, and at least take it in, I believe, 7-5 fashion as the side swap starts.
That is correct, Patrick. Very good. So we'll see how Durham does on the attack. We know how aggressive they were the first time, and I can't really see that not happening on this attacker side for Split. And I can maybe ask you this, because we've seen what St. Clair can bring on the attacker side of Split. What do you remember seeing on the defense of Split the last time we had a game on here?
You know, I'm not gonna lie. That game was. I'm sorry, this isn't usual of me. That game was an actual fever dream, like an actual fever dream. Yes, like it was. Casting with Owen.
I think that's all you need to say.
It didn't.
No offense, Owen.
No, for sure. It was a crazy game, and there wasn't a whole lot to remember. I won't lie, other than the fact that we were just Odin spamming all day, every day, and it was working out. What I can tell you is Durham are just simply walking up mid. They get some male pressure, but they are quick to back off. Abrux's sitting inside of Zip's gonna find 1, but the retrade is too good. Sky healing can obviously come through, and you have the Sage for that as well. So a lot of healing that both these sides can be using here, but Lucario find 1. The refrag good from Thanks, and now all of a sudden you find yourself in a 1v3 Dark Stars. I'm not gonna lie.
Spike planted.
Not a whole lot of faith that I got when you don't got an Odin in hand. If you did, it's a different story, but I'm sorry.
Man, you gotta have faith, Patrick.
Well, we'll see what faith gets.
I'm ready to see a miracle right here.
Oh, yeah?
It could happen. Let's see it.
Who
Oh,
knows?
okay. Let's not swap
Prod
to the player cams right there.
might believe a little less than I do.
Wait, there's one.
Wait.
All right, okay.
Okay, I was
All
going to say,
hey.
Prod might
There's
believe
one.
less than I do. They showed the player cams preemptively. They thought it was over. I mean, man. Disrespectful.
Man,
Disrespectful.
hey, I'm trying to keep it positive here, but That is a tough situation. But hey,
Yeah,
you know,
almost
it's
unwinnable.
it's not impossible. You have the heaven position. You might be able to sneak away with a couple one-taps, but Durham, once again, they prove that their attacker pistol is a little bit better, and now they should be good to take this conversion. And if you're St. Clair, I mean, you're definitely starting to dig yourself into a little bit of a hole now because Durham has started to build this momentum up. They're going to get their conversion most likely, and then it's really going to be crunch time for St. Clair. Oh my goodness, 38-2. I mean, just devastating with the judge. You just can't keep this guy down. He is just all over the place.
Yeah, and I mean, the Boombot through screens not picking up too much, but he can just now hold that positioning. And when you have a judge, yeah, you can just rat in the corner.
Yep.
And it literally, you are the immovable object. It's probably going to be the position you take up, peeking around, sees a Brill, and yeah, I was going to say, weirdly taking that angle, but you know, when you close the gap on those, hopefully, St. Clair, they'll have a response. Lakar with 3 one-taps going his way, but unfortunately, a 3K, not better than a 4K. And 30-82, this game is simply his bread and butter.
It's
because he's just been unstoppable for these 2 maps.
It's his world, and we're living in it.
Yeah, that's
right
a great way
now.
to put it.
But hey, we've had some good performances for St. Clair. I think UG has done a really good job at bringing this team up from the depths right now, leading the way 15-2 and 12, I should say. I mean, that's pretty close to where Sanchi and 3082 are sitting right now. So some respectable numbers for your St. Clair duelists, but just a little bit better on the side of Durham College. And now with rifles in hand, although Medbed electing to save a little bit, so we're going to see how this goes out. This Odin spam still effective for St. Clair. As Durham trying to take space on this A side. Tommy, going to be good to find clarity. And, I mean, it's your guy. Once again, just ratting in the corner.
Yeah, I can pick up the Phantom as well. This spray through is just too good. And off the blind as well that the Sky can throw out and try to clear out tower. I mean, there was just a lot of visual clutter on Darker Star's screen.
Yeah. It's like a Marvel Rivals game.
Sure, and Lakar is going to have to try to retake some of this back. And, you know, unlike Marvel Rivals where you get your ult every 2 seconds and can try to fight your way back into any situation, unfortunately, this is Valorant, and there isn't just a win con granted to you every time you count to 5. So UG is going to die on Zips, and now it's going to be a timeout for St. Clair.
And I think this is a good call here because Durham clearly has found their momentum to get back in this game. Has really looked great on this defensive side, and similar to what we saw in Lotus, I think the play call for Durham is just press W and just kill. I think that's the call right there. It's just be as aggressive as you can to take space and just bully your way into the site. And St. Clair, like we saw in Lotus, they're just not able to stop it.
Yeah, I mean, this is unfortunately where the going is getting tough, as they say, and it's not going to get any easier. Durham, they found their 10th, only 3 away from putting this one to bed. And to make it even worse, St. Clair, they're going to also have to be on a little bit of a save in order to do so.
I mean, you do have a little bit, so like
you could
I
buy,
mean,
yeah.
I think you do light buy in this situation because I don't think you're in a position to give up a save and then just try and play for next round. Because
I saw the Sheriffs and I made a calm, but yeah, no. Looking at
you have to buy something here.
What are we gonna do? Go down 11-5 just for free? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, like you just can't afford to do that right now. I mean, you get the hero, LMG, and Dark Star's hand. I mean, I think that's, or maybe not. As we get the Marshall instead. Oh, never mind. We changed our mind. I mean, I think if anyone's gonna do it, Darker Stars is going to be the one. I mean, she has sort of been that LMG specialist for St. Clair, so get the best tools in your best player's hand. Paranoia gonna go out. Brill's good to find 1 on Sanchi. That's a big pick coming through to start for St. Clair. Great way to get this eco off to a good start, but you just can't keep 30-82 down. Tommy as well having a really solid game. Brill trying to hold this site as much as she can, but just not able to stop this attack. Durham going to be able to get this spike down. UG and Clarity going to be coming in from heaven. That grenade just a little bit too late. Now Yuji on the outside looking in.
Yeah, and unfortunately, everyone knows where both these players have to come from because you saw the util from earlier of the Skydog, and yeah, this should be just slim pickings. I mean, I think you have a good idea that Sin Clarity could have just went through the CT side. This one, all chalked up, looking to Durham's favor. Abril with a nice play early on, but at the end of the day, you just get overwhelmed through the garage rush, and what is there really else to talk about? That's just unfortunate.
But I mean, it's still good that you find one. I mean, that is a little bit more cash in your pocket coming into this next round. But again, we expected that, you know, with only a hero LMG, like this was going to be a tough round on the onset, and we were right. But I think when you're in this eco position, you're just trying to make it as expensive as possible for Durham, and right now that just hasn't happened. The econ is popping right now. We're getting close to a match point situation, and not only is econ popping, they are playing with confidence right now. Skybird going out, and 38-2 will fall, but you find the refrag with Fangs, and Medbed able to find Okairu, so Heaven should be under control if that's what Durham wants to do. Another big play from Abril. That is spiked down as well. 2v2 now. Yuji and Darker Stars versus Tommy and Sanchi.
Yeah, but it was off of a rotating. They know where they want to go, so now in the 2v2 scenario, bomb down as well. That timer's going to act as the third man that Durham want to use to their advantage. You got to watch out for, obviously, the Odin spam that can come through, too.
You do have the Sage Wall as well to get set up, so this is going to be something that's going to be really, really tough. I would expect it to see in on this mailroom side, but I guess not. I guess Sanchi could just hold it with their rifle, but you still have Darker Stars in the way with the Odin. You just can't take it for granted, but look at Tommy. Should be able to find this backstab.
Yeah.
I mean, unless we get an absolute insane play, not going to happen. Durham, once again, right on the edge of glory. They find match point.
Yeah, and you can tell that, again, this Cinderella story most likely coming to an end. The clock has pretty much struck midnight, and Durham, they're the ones who are going to be trying to move on here if barring a miracle. St. Clair, unfortunately, just haven't looked nearly as cohesive and haven't looked at with as much chemistry, and, you know, nothing to fault of them. It's more just the fact that Durham have come out and they've just played really good Valorant themselves.
Yeah, and I mean, I should give St. Clair credit. You know, this has been a much better showing than what we saw on Lotus. You know, the first half was definitely very competitive. I think they were in a lot of situations where they were able to find a way forward, but yeah, it's just skill diff, unfortunately, is really coming to fruition right now. But gotta give credit where credit is due. St. Clair GC Valorant definitely putting on a show, and they are still fighting until the bitter end. No easy rounds for Durham, but it was their attack that wins them the day. They move on in NACE playoffs in 2-0 fashion in what has been a very impressive showing from this Lords team.
Yeah, and looking at the lineup, when I saw that Durham were picking into the defense, I was like, man, you know, I get it. You're up 7-5 now, but seeing what they brought with the agent selection, I was kind of sitting here and I was like, man, the attack that Durham is going to have here with this lineup that they're bringing in would be absolutely disgusting if it's anything reminiscent of what we saw from Lotus. And, well, guess what? It was. So, Durham going to be moving on in 2-0 fashion, eliminating at least, or not eliminate. Is it double bracket?
I think it's a single elim.
Is it single elim?
I'm pretty sure it's a single elim bracket.
Okay, well if that's the case, I will say eliminating for now.
Yeah, it's single elim.
Single elim, eliminating Saints GC from NACE, but some decent showings overall, and hey, you know what? Very proud of what this team was able to accomplish, given the cards they were dealt.
No, absolutely. I think there's a lot of things to be really happy about. I think the core of this team, you know, when you're thinking about moving on in the future, I think there are a lot of things to be positive about. I mean, Yuji had a really, really good game on Split. Abril, how many times did we say, you know, don't leave her in an isolated gunfight because she's going to show off her skill set, and she absolutely did. I mean, this is a player who has been showing off all season long. I think this team definitely has a really bright future, and this is just the first step. This is just the start, and if they can keep the vibes going the same way they have, just keep this core, sky's the limit.
Yeah, I absolutely think that as well, but Unfortunately, that's going to do it for our time tonight as well. So I want to give a couple of quick thank yous. Number one, to the teams, the players, the coaches for coming out and giving us a show. Thank you to the fans watching at home, as always, and showing your support. Thank you, Evan, for joining me here on the desk, as always. Only a couple more streams that we're going to be having together.
No, it's sad.
But we're going to make them count, and we're going to make them our best. Thank you to the prod team in the back room as well. I want to give a special shout-out to, this is going to be hard because it's tough to list
some
off.
of them are literally standing
Carl,
in front of you right
Hayden, Ben, Garrett, I think is Adam working tonight as well? I think
John,
so, yeah,
of
as
course.
well. So, yeah, if I'm missing anybody, please correct me, but I think I got everyone. Yeah, I got
Yeah,
Garrett.
you got Garrett.
Yeah.
No, we're not giving MJ a shout out this time.
You just gave him one right there.
I
Hey.
said we're not going to, but hey, he's doing work for Dust too, so that's a pretty big gig for him. But we did forget somebody very important. We forgot
no,
our
you cut me off, man.
Okay, you finish it.
I
Finish
will.
it.
I will.
All
We
right.
got to thank our sponsors. Thank you to Alienware, Onezo, Subway, Tim Hortons, Pre-Fire, the SEC Alumni Association, and the SRC as well. Thank you guys so much for all that you do. And what do we say?
Thank you, sponsors. Wow, that was good. That was really good.
Yeah, it was
you want to
really
finish the outro too?
Yeah. No.
All right, go ahead.
Prod's gassing it up. Hey, look, I will say thank you everybody for watching. Tune in next time on Thursday where this guy going to be doing some Overwatch.
Overwatch World Cup, gonna be exciting.
Absolutely. Anyway, we'll see you guys later. This is us signing out.